Hi guys, this is Joe from Techie Lobang. Welcome back to this channel. Recently, Xiaomi has launched the Redmi Note 11 series and they have sent me these three models for review. First, this is the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G version, and this is the Redmi Note 11S, and finally this is the Redmi Note 11. So there's one variant that is not here, which is the Redmi Note 11 Pro without the 5G. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the features of each of them and let's get started. First one I want to show is the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G. So to differentiate them, you can see that there's a 5G over here, and it has a 108 megapixel main camera. And what is the biggest difference I feel compared to the rest is it has a glass back, and the feel is very different compared to the rest. So on the front itself, you can see that it has a pinhole camera, or a front facing camera, a single front facing camera over here. On the bottom, so this is a speaker grill, this is the SIM card tray with micro SD card slot, this is the USB-C port, and this is the microphone. On the top, you can see that this is the microphone, this is the speaker grill, and this actually is the grill that is for listening in when you're on the phone. And this is the 3.5mm jack. That is the rare feature on modern smartphones right now. And over here is also a rare feature, which is the IR blaster, which is the infrared port, whereby it's not a port, sorry, it's an infrared, whereby you can actually control certain devices using this infrared. I enjoy having this because I can control some of the TV using this, or some of the aircon using this. And on the back itself, it has one main camera and two other cameras. So I'll leave the information over to this side on all the camera settings. And overall, it's a very slick design in terms of the manufacturing quality. You can see over here is a volume rocker switch, and followed by a power on off switch, which is also a fingerprint scanner over here, which I think is very convenient. So for example, if I want to turn on the phone, I just press on the side like this, and if I'm using the other hand, my thumb will be the one. If I'm using the left hand, this will be the one. And if you look at the screen size, the screen itself, it has a curved edge over here. So this is the outlook of the 5G, the Note 11 Pro 5G. Let's look at this version, which is the Redmi Note 11S. On the bottom itself, it has, let me zoom in, it has the speaker grill, the USB-C port, and the microphone. On the top, it has the 3.5mm jack, the speaker grill, the infrared port or the IR blaster, and the microphone. And on the side itself, it has the rocker switch, the volume rocker switch, the power on off button, and also acting as a fingerprint scanner. And on this side, it has the SIM card tray over here, which is slightly different from the 11 Pro 5G. On the front itself, you can see that it has a single camera over here, front facing camera over here, and this is a speaker grill also when you listen to the call or phone. And finally, on this last one, this is the Redmi Note 11. So yeah, so this is the most basic among the three of them, and it has a 50 megapixel main camera. And also, okay, look at this, these are the cameras over here. It has in total 4 cameras. I'll leave the details over here, and maybe if I have the time, I'll explain why it has 4 cameras, because Xiaomi actually explained to us why there's a need for 4 cameras on this 11 Redmi Note 11, and only 3 cameras on the back for the Redmi Note 11 Pro. Yeah, so this is quite a basic design. You can see from the bottom, it has the speaker grill, USB-C port, and the microphone. On the top, it has the 3.5mm jack, the speaker grill, the IR blaster, and the microphone. On the side over here, it has the rocker switch for volume, and also the power on off buttons, which is also a fingerprint scanner. And over on this side, it has a SIM card tray, and that is about it. If you look at the 3 of them, you can see from the back view they are quite similar. They are all in this color range. This is a graphite gray, and I believe the rest are like black color, but they all look like gray over here. Yeah, I might be wrong. So anyway, this is the glass back. This is just the polycarbonate back, and in terms of feel, this feel rounder or lesser edge compared to this. And size wise, you can see that they are very similar in size. Of course, if you compare with the 11 Pro 5G, I believe the Pro 5G is slightly bigger in terms of the screen size, but they are really very similar at the back. And if you are not observant, you might not be able to differentiate them based on the back. Okay, what blows me away is actually the pricing. The Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G is only $399 if you are buying the 6GB and 128GB variant. 6GB meaning the memory, 6GB. If you want to buy the 8GB with the 128GB memory or storage, that will cost you only 429 Singapore dollar. That is really a fraction of the price of a flagship phone from, you know, the usual suspects. Yeah, so in terms of pricing, this is really affordable. For 11S, the price is for a 6GB 64GB is only $299, and for a 8GB 128GB is only $329. And finally, on the Note 11, for the 4GB 128GB is only $259, and on the 6GB and 128GB storage is only $279. On the specs wise, it's using a Snapdragon 695. This is also using a Snapdragon 680, and for the 11S is using a MediaTek Helio G96. In terms of battery, all 3 of them are using a 5000 mAh battery. That is a huge battery in such a nice body. And differences is that for the 11 Pro 5G, it is supported with 67 watt wired turbo charging, and for the two of them over here, it's only supported by the 33 watt wired Pro fast charging. It's not the turbo charging, but it's Pro fast charging. This guy is using a 120 Hz refresh rate, while the rest are using 90 Hz refresh rates over here. This is the 6.67-inch AMOLED dot display, and this is the 6.43. These two are 6.43 AMOLED display, but they are running at 90 Hz refresh rate. So for the front cameras, right, the only difference is actually this. The rest are using a 16 megapixel front camera, and this is using a 13 megapixel camera. And weight wise, both of them over here are having the same weight, which is 179 gram, and this is 202 gram. But in my opinion, you won't feel a difference, or you won't feel so much of a difference if you are using it for content, for reading or whatever, because there is just maybe 30 gram differences. And yeah, that's about it on the outlook of this. So as three of the models are using the same MIUI 13, I'm going to use this 11 Pro 5G as an example for the rest. So without further ado, let me turn on this. There's a few ways to enter this phone. First, you can use the PIN code. Second, you can use the face recognition, and the last one, you can use the fingerprint sensor. So I have already done my fingerprint sensor and the face unlock, and also the passcode. So I have three of them ready for me to enter this phone or to unlock this phone. So let me go through the settings. As you can see, this is the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G using the MIUI 13 and using Android 11, and these are all the specs. If you're interested, you can scroll down everything to see all the specs, but nothing special. I feel that there's nothing special, which doesn't mean it's no good. It means that it's actually nothing special. So over here, if you scroll down, you can see things that is more interesting. For example, there's one thing that I always like to do when I have a phone with me, or a review phone with me. One thing is I go to this navigation system navigation, and I'll change it to a gestures instead of just buttons. I feel that the buttons at the below are actually taking out the space, the screen space, so I do not want them, and I always change it to the gesture, which seems like it's quite uniform across different brands. So just to show you, for example, to go back to the front page, you just need to push it out. It's going to the front page, and you push out and hold it. You can close all the tasks at once by pressing it here. And next, if you want to go back one action before that, for example, you want to go back to the front page, just do this, or on this side is okay, whichever side is okay. So these are the quite a basic gesture movement for most of the smartphone today, and I feel that this is one of the great features that after using it for a while, I get so used to it that I will do it on every single phone that I have. Yeah, then let's go back to this again, and let's go through to see whether there's any more interesting things. So for the battery, it has all the information that you need on the battery, quite detailed, but I don't think you need all this. So yeah, that's about it. On this front, you can see that this is the MIUI, and on this side is always the Google News over here. Then if you do it this way, you can arrange it, or you can add on widgets to it over here, add on widgets to it if you need. And yeah, I think it's just that simple. Camera wise, for this Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G. I'm only using this as a reference because I think this has the greatest camera. If this camera is good or no good, I think it determines for the rest. For this Redmi Note 11 5G, the camera actually, although it has a 108 megapixel, the quality itself when it comes to zooming in and etc., that is not that great. I will show some example over here, and you can I believe you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, but for the rest of the things like portrait and etc., using the camera in a standard format whereby you just point and shoot, I think that this camera is actually not so bad. It's quite good. However, once it zoom in, you know, the quality actually drops and it shows a lot of noise inside the photographs. One more thing I want to talk about is the night shot. So I compare it with another flagship model, and you can see over here also the quality of the night shot that is not so great. It is quite dim when it comes to some night shots. So the setup for this night shot is I actually use my own living hall as an example with a backlight, a small little fluorescent lamp as a backlight, and then I try to shoot it. And yeah, there's the end result you can see over here. So overall, I believe the quality of the camera is good if you use it as a point and shoot, but when it comes to things that you need to zoom in and etc., and especially on the night shot, yeah, I think that is something that you need to take note of when you want to buy this. But for the pricing of these phones, I think that is a great deal already. So if I just need a point and shoot cameras on the phone and I need to consume a lot of content, this will be a great phone because of the pricing itself. And that is it for my review. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope to see you around. Goodbye and take care.